It's a great feeling of hope for the future that we're putting something back into the environment, and in my lifetime I think that's really worthwhile.
This is the story of Restoration Forth, a project which brings together communities and organisations to make waves for a brighter future. Scotland is home to some of the most incredible wildlife and habitats in the world. But nature's in trouble, with 1 in 9 Scottish species at risk of extinction. Since 2022, communities and organisations have been working together to restore wildlife and habitats by trialling seagrass restoration and reintroducing European flat oysters to the Firth of Forth. Let's take a look back.
I just love seeing the impact of small things. People think of conservation and they think of elephants and tigers. They don't think of the small things which make up that tangled bank of animals and ecosystems, which is so important. It's sort of close to my heart because it's somewhere where I live, and eventually I'll see it progress somewhere like Grangemouth.
You hear a lot about global warming and the biodiversity crisis, and seagrass brings those two things together and hopefully helps to improve both of them. Restoring the seagrass beds should help improve the coastal environment and make a big difference. And Restoration Forth, I think, is great because it brings together the communities around the Forth itself.
You know, at a time of life where I was not working due to health issues, you know, basically nature heals. I was just really ready for something like this. As a layperson, you know, knowing nothing about seagrass, never having heard about it before, to learning that there was, you know, a project on my doorstep. I just think it's brilliant that there are projects like this. The organisations who've got knowledge, the skills, and then bringing in community as well. I think this is the way forward.
We've learned a lot, but restoration doesn't come without its challenges. What the project has discovered has been incredibly helpful and will support future restoration projects. Seagrass works in harmony with oysters, and together they provide refuge to many animals, protect coastlines and remove pollutants from the water, making it safer for us all.
These oysters, although they're so small, what they do is really important for the ecosystem. And you know, I think one day that people are going to look at the Firth of Forth and they're going to be like, wow, it looks so good and so clear, and they're going to be like, this is what we do like matters.
While you're scrapping the oyster, you build up a personal connection with the species. The communities I work with are mostly migrants from cities like Hong Kong or other parts of Asia, and we barely have any chance to be connected to nature too much where we were from. It's a great opportunity for us to know about the natural habitats in Scotland.
I think it's really important to be doing collaborative projects like this one, where you bring all the actors together. This sort of project is going to work best when you get the local people involved, and then they'll take on more stewardship and make friends too.
We love oysters! Hey!
Drops, get set, fire!
Communities play a huge role in looking after our coastline. The oyster beds were once abundant, the fish were once abundant, the seabirds were once abundant. My heart and soul is with the people that are trying to restore the biodiversity of the Firth of Forth.
I was inspired by the really wide variety of stories that different people brought to the Restoration Forth project and to their connections to oysters themselves. It was really interesting thinking about the potential future stories that could exist through the effect of the Restoration Forth project.
Well, I was brought up in the Haven, went to Victoria School. My playground was in the Haven Harbour. Used to wait on the boats coming in and see what their catch was. No, really happy to see the oyster going back in the water and getting the habitat back to what it was. My hopes are that it goes from strength to strength.
I live through Middlesex County on me. The oyster loves springs, like each greater sea. With music and song, as time passes by, we hear in the distance the real lassie's cry. Callaroo, 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 Firth of Forth, callaroo, callaroo. Say here's to the boatmen that aim and down war, at Kirk and the fair, there's Lincoln say call, and we'll be their days, say blithesome and fair, their voices in the